The IB is the most challenging school curriculum in the world. Now, if you're following this channel, you've heard me say that a lot. And if you're not, do subscribe. But anyway, it also means there are a lot of schools in the world that teach it. And although it is extremely challenging in and of itself, it doesn't mean there are some external factors that influence what your outcome is and what your grades are. So which one of the 5,284 IB schools in the 158 countries in the world is the best one? Let's find out. There are 5,824 IB schools in 158 countries. That's a lot of schools in a lot of countries. But which ones are the top 5? What do they have in common? And what's different about them? What makes them the best? And what makes them unique or different than the others? And when I say best, I mean best regarding grades and overall cohort academic performance. So I'm just gonna be focusing on that. Right, so the top 5 IB schools, according to ibschools.com, from 2019, because 2020 was an off year, as we all know, are, at number 1, we have the Anglo-Chinese School, which is in Singapore. At number 2, we would have the Godolphin and Latimer School in the UK. However, I'm not including it in this list because it's not co-educational. So now in second, which was third if we didn't exclude Godolphin, is St. Joseph's Institution in Singapore. And followed by that, in third, is the German-Swiss International School in Hong Kong. So not very German or Swiss. Fourth is the St. Paul's Co-Ed or Co-Educational in Hong Kong as well. And fifth, we have King's Wimbledon in the UK. So those are the schools, but let's see what makes these the best, or at least let's see what these best have in common. So interestingly, they're all scoring above 40 points, but below 42. But anyway, that is what makes these schools the best. 3 of these schools are day schools, while the rest are boarding schools. However, having gone to a boarding school myself, I wouldn't really change that for anything else. It really lets you bond differently with your classmates, and it's a great experience overall. And looking at the tuitions, I'll put them here, but an average tuition in Hong Kong is 172,000 Hong Kong dollars. In Singapore, it's 12,500 Singaporean dollars, and in the UK, a private school's tuition is 17,000 pounds. So again, really mixed results here, with some being almost double of the averages and others being below average. So I don't think that's the main difference either. And now looking at geographical differences, 4 of these 5 top schools are in Asia, and from empirical evidence and conversations with friends from Asian countries like Taiwan, Japan, the Philippines, and China, I know for a fact that the education system is very rigorous and demanding, and therefore it can produce very high academic results and very smart or intellectually advanced students. Now, something else that's interesting in these schools is the cohort size, which means the number of students per class or per generation, so to speak. And this is important because it dictates how many teachers there are per student, and also how many students there are per class or per classroom. So the top 2 are interesting because they're the ones with the most amount of students, and the bottom 3 fluctuate between 50 and 75 students per cohort class. And now this to me seems high because in my school for the IB, it was between 40 and 50, but in my school here in Mexico, I know it's between 90 and 120. But referring to my latter point, in the Anglo-Chinese school, there is 1 teacher per every 8.7 students. And while I couldn't really find data for the other schools, I wouldn't be surprised if the case was similar for the higher achieving schools and not so true for the lower achieving schools. So yeah, that's basically all I have to say about that. These are also important factors to consider if you're looking to go to an IB school yourself, and questions to ask yourself about the class size, where it is, how many teachers per student, etc. And to summarize, the top 5 schools are the Anglo-Chinese School, St. Joseph's Institution, the German-Swiss International School, St. Paul's Co-Eds, and King's Wimbledon. So again, thanks for watching. Those are the top IB schools. If you want to make sure how to succeed in the IB, how to choose your best subject if you want to get into a certain career, or just how to choose a university in general, I'll leave the links or the playlist up here. And yeah, please like, comment, and subscribe. It is massively appreciated and it helps a ton.